What's up, Regen? Welcome to Online Youth. We're so glad you're here.
Hope you're doing well. We're having a banger of a service tonight. It's gonna be great.
What do you say?
Alright, today we're playing a very intense game of dodgeball. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be dangerous. It's gonna be brutal. So, let's go.
There's a block. Right in the face. Atta boys, Ender.
the thing I kind of took away the most was how we all do things for a reason, even if they're negative or positive, and it all comes out to God. Like, it doesn't come out as different outcomes, but it's all, everything's just about God. And I love how Ken Malman made a bunch of evolution jokes, and it was super funny. But he also said that, like, we're not just swirling balls of gases. We actually have a purpose for what's ahead of us, and we all have a purpose in life, and that we don't have to care what other people think. So.
Okay, so I think we get really used to asking questions to God, like, oh, why is this happening? Why am I doing this? And stuff like that. But today in the lecture, like, he kind of phrased it like sometimes God asks us questions so we can hear the answer. And I think that sometimes instead of asking God for answers to questions, I think we should ask ourselves answers to questions, because I think sometimes the answer can be right in front of us and we're just oblivious to it. And like, we could solve a lot more of our problems with God instead of just like blaming him for them if we if we were more self-aware and being like, if this is happening, then why? And like giving ourselves the chance to answer the questions we possibly could. He also brought up the point that death happens because sins happen, and I think like that kind of like hit hard too, because I think that sometimes we just say, oh, it's just a sin, it's just a small sin, like why would that matter? And like today he kind of like outlined the fact that sometimes it's like a tooth. Like his example was like, if it's a tooth and it's like decaying or something like that, if you just leave it out, it's gonna like eventually rot and fall out. And I think like if we look at sin like that, if we don't ever fix the problem that's in front of us, that it will just become a bigger and bigger problem. So like instead of addressing sin as like, oh, it's just small, it won't happen again, it's no big deal, that we actually face it head on, and that we solve the problem and ask hard questions and go to God with them, even though it's just small. We acknowledge that it's there and we actually try and do something about it.
So the session today was about the doctrine of atonement, and the definition that he gives for atonement is to cover, the process of God covering our sins. And what I kind of took from that is it's not covering, it's covering for our sins. Like if you owe somebody, if somebody is like short money and you cover your friend for the bill or whatever, it's not like hiding it like a carpet. It's more like just paying for what he did. And I thought that was pretty interesting.
I will see.
so good. With every breath that I am able, I will sing of the goodness of God. I will sing of the goodness of God. Oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. Thanks for watching. Have a great night.
Share with your friends.